call to order the Cottrellville Township special meeting and first public hearing for a special assessment for Water District Number 5. Welcome, everyone. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We have a moment of silence for all these kids that are being shot at school. All right, let's begin with a roll call, please.
Carl.
Here.
Beth.
Yeah, here.
Mary Agnes.
Here.
Tom.
Here.
Sherry. Here.
Okay. We're going to need the agenda approval. That's going to entail the public hearing, the opening and the closing, and hearing those in favor and those against, and then we'll close out the public hearing and the decision will be made at the following meeting, which begins at 7:30, or we can follow, I think, right immediately following this when we get done. Do we have a motion to approve the agenda as presented? Oops.
I make a motion to approve the agenda as presented.
Okay, we have a motion by Bev and a second by Carl. All in favor signify by aye by roll call vote, please.
Tom.
Yes.
Mary Agnes.
Yes.
Carl.
Yes.
Bev.
Yes.
Sherry. Yes.
Motion carried. Thank you very much. We're going to open up the public hearing immediately to the residents and property owners in the area described below and all other interested parties. People on Lozon Road, the north side, parcel number 7417021-2008-500. It's also known as 6242 Lozon Road to Marsh Road. And the south side of parcel 7417021-3001-000, also known as 6241 Lozon to Marsh. The next section is Shortcut Road from Starville to McKinley, Shortcut Road from McKinley to parcel 7417009-4009-300. North side and parcel number 7417-016-1001-300 south side. McKinley Road, Shortcut Road to Marco, and McKinley Road south of Shortcut at 334 feet that drops down there, and it's to loop the rest of the system. Please take notice that as the results of the petition circulated by property owners within the township signed by record owners of land whose area constitutes more than 50% of the total area, being 58.37% of the total land area within the boundary of the petitioned area, herein described Water District Number 5, Special Assessment District, and the Township Board of the Township of Cotterville proposes the creation of a special assessment for the recovery of the cost thereby by special assessment against the properties benefited from them therein. The advertisement for this first public hearing has appeared in the official newspaper of record twice, once being on May 25th, 2022, the second time June 1st, 2022. Township Board will hear and listen to any objections for or against the petition's district and project estimate of costs. The proposed district is on the maps that are available to you to review. Actual plan drawings are still in the works by our engineer. We will not hold the second public hearing until we can mail you out an individual parcel cost to your address for your review at that meeting. The second public hearing will not be held until October. All right, we'll start with those in favor. Is there any questions by the board, first of all, on anything they've received or heard? Barbara, is there anything you want to add?
Well, I was just going to explain what we've gotten so far. Do you want to do that now or wait till after they...
Let's do it now so that it may answer some of the questions that they have.
Okay. Well, we did get our beginning estimates from our engineer. He actually broke it down into sections for us. The people in Lozon, the one hearing, or actually it was just like an informal talk that we had, that we did have some estimate. It started out being $551,000. It's actually gone up. Everything's gone up to $586,000. Then the balance of the whole total project is $2,156,900, and that we were able to break down between the Lozon, and then the balance of the rest of it. Well, like I said, the Lozon was $586,000, and the balance of it would be $1,258,900. Using those numbers, coming up with a rough estimate right now, until the contract is even let out, we won't know the exact final numbers, but based on the estimate, I kept with the same, and we're doing it per parcel and per front foot, just because this isn't a cute little subdivision where all the lots are the same, and it's really easy to run right down the road and give a dollar amount. We have larger acres, smaller acres, so we run with the per parcel frontage, a combination between the two, same as the District 2A is, the same as District 3. Right now, it'll work out that Lozon would be right around $8,000 a parcel, and at $60.195 per front foot. And the shortcut McKinley sections are still with the same $8,000, because we were able to put that together, so it'll make it a little bit easier for everybody. But at their price, because there were more items on the engineer's list that need to be done for the shortcut McKinley area, would be the $8,000 per parcel, and then $96.036 per front foot. That's the way I have it right now. The frontages that I arrived at were based off of people's property descriptions. It's right on your tax bill. Some property descriptions are not the nice little meets and bounds that I can go this so many feet this way, that way. Instead, they're still, northeast corner, the northeast corner, and that sort of thing. Using county maps. Like Mary Agnes said, we won't have the second hearing probably till somewhere around October. It would really be great. When you get your notice from me, it'll have that footage on. If between now and then, if you happen to have any surveys available or anything that would help me come up with the exact size, because things do change. The world is round, so things do change even on surveys, to make sure that we are using the correct frontages and of course, the blanket per parcel charge. So that would really help out as well, because the second hearing you'll have your notice, and if anything wrong, we'd have to correct it. If I can get it corrected up front, if there's something wrong, that would be even better. And also at the second hearing, that's also when you can, state for or against. That's also when you would appeal if you need to go further to the tax tribunal. Binding will be done after that second hearing. So a lot more things are going to be happening after the second hearing, and between now and then, plans drawing up. So that's about as much as I know. Maybe.
Anybody on the board got any questions of Barb's explanation? If not, we'll proceed then first with those in favor. When you raise your hand, and I'll allow you to leave your seat, go up to the podium, please, because we're having this televised, and people at home will be able to hear it. There were some people that called and couldn't make it tonight. Please state your name, your address, the size of your property, if you know it, how many acres, and what you think your road frontage is, and then state your opinion. And I'll let you talk as long as you don't go over 3 minutes, or you don't start repeating each other, because then I got to call you out, because there's no point in hearing the same thing over and over again. Now, if husbands and wives have difference of opinion, I want to hear both of you. And I had one happen a few years ago who didn't get along with his wife, and they are no longer married either, so. All right, we'll start with those in favor, and we'll do, let's do Lozon Road first. Okay, can you step to the podium, please? You must have just woke up, huh?
I was just staring at this.
Oh, okay.
Name's Taylor Brandt. Got property at 6216 Lozon Road, about 21 acres. I think it's about 650 foot of frontage. I'm all for it. I'm going to be building soon, hopefully, and I'm not going to spend 20 grand on tanks and all this other bull crap when I could have city water. I know it costs money, but in the end, it's the right thing. It only makes values of everything else to go up. You got a fire hydrant versus a pump. Well, your house starts on fire, you ain't putting it out with a well. So another thing to think about. I know it goes to a dead end, but that's why you flush the system, clean it out. It's not like water's gonna be sitting in there all day, so I don't really have anything else, but I would just like this to go through because there's a about 42 million goods than there is bad, so, that's all I got.
Okay. All right, would you give your spelling of your first and last name, please?
Tayler Brandt.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else in favor on Lozon? Okay, how about anybody that was against Lozon Road?
So I'm Tyler McGuire, 6120 Lozon Road. We've got almost 14 acres, probably 350 foot of frontage. I guess I wasn't necessarily opposed or against. I think it's just based on cost. And if it's $96-ish per foot that you own of road frontage, I mean, it's based on going after, 30 years? Is what
20
we break it up,
years.
20 years?
20 years.
So it's even worse. So if you break it up on 30 years, I mean, our property taxes would go up over $1,000 a year. That's ridiculous. So we have a well, everybody else on Lozon has a well. You just get it's pretty simple.
Okay, could you spell your first and last name, please?
First name Tyler, last name McGuire, Magwire.
Okay, very good, sir.
Yeah, that's pretty much all I got.
And that was 6125?
6120.
20. Okay. You want to speak to?
No, just whatever he said, I agree.
Same
with.
thing?
Yeah.
Okay,
I
what
don't wanna
is,
waste time.
no, that's all right. What is your first name?
Sarah, Sarah.
And so far you live with him, right?
Yeah.
Okay, just thought I'd ask. Okay. All right, if there's no one else on that, let's switch now to shortcut in the McKinley Road section. Do we have anyone that's in favor of it, please? Ma'am, you go ahead first.
My name is Tracy Coverdell. I live at 6446 Shortcut. I am in favor because our well is not great, very silty. We are replacing the filters, the whole house filters. They're supposed to last up to 3 to 4 months. We have to change them every 2 to 3 weeks. The cost of those have gone up. We have replaced multiple washers, faucet, like all the fixtures. It's been a headache. It would be nice to be able to.
Pour yourself a glass of water.
Yes, it really would be. I'm literally, in order to even make my coffee in the morning, I have to go and fill multiple gallons of, for the week, just to have something that is worthy of drinking. We have about just over between 2 and 3 acres. Would you say about 250 feet of frontage, Chris? About, to me, it would be worth it because I would like my appliances to last. I have to buy the better, the more economical washer. I've gone through 3 already since I've lived there for 10 years, just to be able to, because if the toilet stays running for an hour and you don't know that it's running, my water's gone. And it takes a long time to catch up. So to me, it would be beneficial because I've got a family of 5 trying to take showers and be able to run the washer and the dishwasher or anything like that at the same time is impossible at times.
Okay. Tracy, how do you spell your last name?
Coverdill.
And you were at 6446 Shortcut?
Yes, correct.
You have 3 acres and 250 foot of frontage approximately.
It's just shy of 3 acres, and
Okay.
I'm not 100% sure on the frontage.
Okay.
I'm not great with those kind of numbers.
That's all right. All right, anyone else? Yes, sir?
I'm Chris Frank. I live at 6425 Shortcut Road. I'm also in favor. Basically, same reasons, crap well, the whole nine. I know there's pros and cons, water bill, the whole nine, but I'm tired of replacing my stuff, and the water's terrible there, so that's basically it.
Do you know how many acres you have?
I have just a little over 10,
Okay.
and
And what about road frontage?
I would say it's around 400, maybe more.
Okay. All right, very good, thank you.
Yep.
Anyone else in favor? Go ahead, sir.
My name is Scott Whiting, Scott Whiting. Have 2.6 acres, about 152 frontage. I think my offset is going to be not having Absopure delivered anymore, not having a water softener. When I add all that up, I think it's definitely worth it. I've been out here for 28 years, and I can reiterate what everybody's saying, faucet after faucet. I mean, it's like a 2 to 3 year thing of replacing faucets. I keep extra ones just because you go through so many, so.
Scott,
I
I need
appreciate
your
you
address
considering.
too.
Oh, 6533 Shortcut Road.
Thank you.
All right, thanks.
Very good, sir. Anyone else? Yes, sir.
I'm Bryce Wendt, BRYCE, WENDT. My parcel number is 4009 Shortcut Road. I got about 2.6 acres and 160 foot of frontage.
4.6 acres, and how much?
2.6 acres.
2,
And 160 foot of frontage,
okay,
and I vote yes. So,
okay.
yeah, that's all I gotta say.
Thank you, sir. Anyone else? Anyone else want to talk about any? Oh, we got one more guy.
Yes, my name is George Newman, and I have 10.1 acres on Shortcut Road. Number's 1007-000, 328 feet of frontage, and I vote yes. I'd love to build a retirement home there for my family, and had the opportunity to talk to a lot of the neighbors about how bad the water is. And I know this would definitely be the right thing to do for the health of the family, the usefulness of your home, the fire protection. So that's basically why I'm for it.
Very good, sir, thank you. You live on Incubator Drive, right?
Correct.
Anyone else?
Kyle Schmidt. I have 10 acres and 328 feet of frontage. And I basically echo everything else that everyone else has said. So I've heard lots of bad things about getting a well here, and I'd like to build a home here as well, and I don't really want to deal with all the issues that everyone else has been talking about.
You don't have a building there yet, so do you know what the property ID number is? Just off the top of your head? That's all right. If you don't.
1006-000.
Okay, thank you very much, sir. Anybody on the board got any questions of these people? Concerns? If not, we'll close out our public hearing. Say what?
Against, you got 4.
Oh, I thought I did.
Against for sure.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, against.
Sorry.
Do we have anyone against? Sure, stand up.
Hi, Joe and Michelle Tabor, Tabor, and we are at 6025 Shortcut Road, 3.5 acres and approximately 135 feet of frontage. And we're just curious about the rest of Shortcut. Is that just off the board now?
Well, I sent out a second letter to everyone else that was on the on the property, on both sides of the road. And there was not enough response that was interested in it. So that brings me to another problem, because I have it set up to fix this road in 2023, half of it, and the other half in 2024. And I really don't want to put the road down and then have somebody in 2 years ask me to tear this all up again.
Right.
So,
We're for it. I did get a letter and I did respond by email. Obviously, I know not everybody was for it,
no, not
apparently.
everybody.
So we were just kind of wanting to make sure that it was off the board, because we were for it, and again, like everybody else said,
Well, there was just some big properties there that, on your stretch on this
That
side.
overtook.
That kind of outbalance you. I mean.
Okay.
That's.
Thank you for your time.
Jerry's Storage was one, and there was a couple other big farmers that have, one guy had, I think 41 acres, another one was, 33 acres? Those big parcels kind of.
Sure.
Kicked us in the pants, so we
Yeah,
couldn't.
we were just disappointed and wanted to be get some clarification on it, so thank you for your
Well,
time.
that doesn't mean you can't come back in 6 months and ask us again. But
Yeah.
hopefully, we won't do anything to tear this up, because when they put the water line in, there's a lot of new culverts going in, all the ditching is gonna be cleaned on
Sure.
that side of the road. I mean, those are the things that I can set up to be done on the other side of the road after that's completed. But I would like to wait till till the water line is in, so we don't tear up everything. You know how they did on 29, the
Right.
state come in and put in the new water line, and then they decided to chop it all up, and there's little patches all over the place down in Fairhaven where they
Okay.
did that a few years ago, and I just didn't want to see that mess on our new road if we didn't have to.
Right, so we can come back in 6 months and just,
Keep asking, that's all you can do. But
Okay.
you're gonna have to, talk to your neighbors, because those people are the ones that are gonna help you,
Right.
if they want it.
Okay.
Maybe they'll see what this is, gonna add to the, especially the big parcels. If they can be split at a later time,
right, the value,
the value goes up, so.
right. Okay, and I know
Okay.
the home insurance, our home insurance, actually was really high, and I had called on it, and they said it was because we didn't have fire hydrants,
Yeah,
that they charged us a lot more for our home insurance, because I told somebody and they couldn't believe how much we paid. So I finally called to find out, and they said it was because of no fire hydrants, and we don't have a pond on our property, but there's pros and cons.
yeah.
Thank you
All right,
very
Thank
much.
you very much. Anyone else?
Who pays if you sell your house? Does it go?
It can be assumed.
It can be to the next person.
It's actually up to the bank that's loaning the money on it, whether they want to be first in line, when they do title work.
Some title companies and mortgage companies want it paid off at closing type thing. Other ones will let you assume it, like Randy said.
I have a question.
Sure.
You guys have referred to the engineer. Who is that that's drawing this build up?
It's Project Control Engineering in Algonac, John Monty and Anthony Theodoro.
Have we gone with other firms to get quotes as well?
On the engineering?
Yeah.
No. I've worked with a couple other ones. They're probably gonna be the least expensive. The further away you get from your job, they charge you travel time back and forth. He just lives right here in Algonac, so,
They are the township's engineers too.
yeah.
That's who takes care of all our engineering needs.
Okay, so we have to use them?
Don't have to, but
Well, I don't think you're gonna find any cheaper. He's come across on a lot of little things that we've been working on, and he's been right in there with the costs.
I just know from my experience of what I do, we usually get multiple quotes from multiple people and find the best price, best quality.
Well, we're not putting the pipe in the ground yet.
Right.
Mr. Newman?
Maybe she doesn't understand that they're the engineering firm, but there will be multiple bids on installation.
So that bid that comes in eventually will be the
that's just an,
final price.
yeah, what we're getting, the price you're giving now is just an estimate by the engineering firm. That's not the contractor's price. There'll be at least 3, I would imagine, contractors bidding on this.
Yes.
Okay, that makes sense, thank you.
Yes, sir.
I have a question.
Yes.
If you're a corner lot, are you billed for both sides of the pipe, or are you billed?
I'm gonna let Barbie explain that.
There's 3 of them that are like that, that's got that issue. The one's very, very small, it can't be re-split again. I do have two other ones that could be split. One's on Shortcut, one's up McKinley, the other one's on Shortcut, one's up McKinley. They're actually away from each other. So you would have the Shortcut, 'cause that's your, so actually on the one, it's almost the same size both ways, it's almost a square. You would have the Shortcut price, and then the way, because I did some research and talked to Michigan Township Association, the fact that our township, our sizes for our lots have gotten much bigger. So if you would want to split, you have to have at least 4 acres and 300 feet of frontage. So once you take that away from the way, if you say, okay, you have...
So if you're that smaller corner, you cannot split it?
Yeah, so therefore you're only going to get the one side. If it's a bigger piece, you could, then you would take...
So if you're under that threshold, you'd be just held liable for one side of frontage?
Right, but if you're bigger, which I only have 2 parcels that's that way.
That's what I was getting nervous about, you pay 2 ways.
Yeah, there's only 2 parcels in the whole
So they
district.
probably take the bigger side is what you pay on.
Actually, your first frontage is your smaller side. And then the only thing, because you are on the side one, I would take away the size of a 4-acre piece, because you can only, it depends if you're splitting this way or splitting this way based on your road, and then whatever's left over is the only amount. There's only 2 parcels that's gonna have an additional, because they're so big.
Right, I'm one of the smaller ones.
Are you
So
right
I'm
on?
saying I'd pay on the smaller side.
Yes, are you the one that's 250 on one side and 300 some on the other? I remember the parcel.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah, yours would be the 250, and you only have an acre, a little over an acre.
No, I'm just over 2 acres.
Okay, but you can't split anything, you can't do anything
Right,
with
so
it.
that is,
Yeah.
if you get double.
No, because you can't.
Double charged? No.
And your house faces, so it also picks up that side.
We had ours done.
Right.
We paid full price for the frontage on it, and then on the corner it was reduced.
Yes,
Right,
yes.
So you won't pay
that would be
full
the
price
same.
for the both sides.
Yeah.
You pay full price for one side and a reduced price for the second side.
Well, in his case, it would be none.
But if it's small and you can't re-split, then you're not paying anything.
No,
Okay,
you're not
so
gonna,
that makes more
yes.
sense.
Like I
Yeah,
said,
you're
there's
only gonna
Yeah,
get
'cause
paid
I got a
for.
hydrant in my ditch, it's kind of like, I'm right there.
Oh, you're that first parcel?
I'm the first part.
Okay.
It's right in my ditch line. I didn't know
Right here?
if I paid.
I would say that's what it is, yes.
And
Yeah,
and
2.1.
generally, the hydrants, most of the contractors, when they come in, they're about 500 feet apart. Obviously, you don't want a hydrant in the middle of your driveway, so they do, adjust it for that, so
Yeah,
that they know
I tried
to
when I
put it in the
first
right
moved.
spot, right.
Called St. Clair and they were like, no, but it's right there.
Okay, anyone else have anything, questions, concerns?
I have one more question.
Sure.
Sorry. So the engineer that's taking care of all this, those contractors are gonna bid to him?
No,
Or
they
are
bid to
gonna
us.
bid to us? Okay.
There will be like a bid opening, Mary Agnes will, conduct a bid opening, whatever day it is, and then they'll come in and say, this company is this price, this company, and then, of course, the board has to decide which company you're going with.
Are those public?
Oh, yes, everything is public. The only thing is that they want to make sure that they've met all the things as far as addendums. If there was something, if a contractor has a question, he sends that question to the engineer. He has to fire the question out to every bidder that picked up a bid package and then answer it, so that and then they have to acknowledge on the document that they're signing that they did receive addendum number 1, 2, or 3, and that this is included in the price. So those are all things to keep it on the up and up.
So they're all looking at apples to apples, rather than,
Yep.
one guy.
Nobody gets an advantage. Yes, sir.
I just wanted to be clear that, you said something like $8,000 a parcel and then so much a square foot?
No,
No,
front
lineal
foot.
foot.
Front foot,
Okay, so it's 8,000?
8,000 per parcel, so everybody that has one parcel will get 8,000, plus whatever their frontage is along the road, depends on if you run lows on a shortcut.
Thank you.
And they run that to your house too?
No,
No.
that's,
No, so
that's,
you have to pay to get it ran to your house?
yeah, and I think when we had ours done, it was like $1,600. The guy came, and that was
That's
running
even
it,
if your house is far back off the road?
ours is 240 feet.
Well, that's the
He
reason
did-
why
he-
you can't
he
pay for
ran
that. You're paying for because some of the people maybe don't want the water, it's going right by their house, but they still have to pay for it to cross the property to get to the next one. They may never hook up to it, maybe they're happy with their well. But, you know, as soon as the well goes dry, they're usually the first one here to have it hooked up. We've had several of those happen to us real quick in 2008 and 2009.
And like Mary said, you don't have to hook up to water. It's not like sewers coming down, you have to hook up. You don't have to hook up to water, so if you're fine, you know. But they put the meter, are they doing the stop box out right onto your property, just a few, and then you would go from there to the house. Whatever that is. Also depends on what size you want, if you want like an inch or a quarter inch, depends on what size piping you're wanting for pressure, and that's your choice.
And then there's an inspection, and there's a tap-in fee. The tap-in fee is paid to attach to that, and then they'll charge you so much to, you know, if you're in the middle of the woods, you might get somebody that would bore it underneath it and not tear up any grass or any trees or anything and bring it back to your house. Now, if your well is in the backyard, then you might have to reverse your plumbing underneath the house in the crawl space or the basement to come up to the front where the water
I
is.
understand, I was just curious about that because.
And you don't, if you have a well and you have a horse or whatever, and you don't want to use all of that for your city water, you can still have your well, you just have to cut it off so it's not contaminating the city water. You know, you can keep your well up for your animals if you want, or garden or whatever.
Yeah, that's what they did with ours. They bored it in. He made the connection to the house, he made the disconnect. We still have our wells for outside faucets. So we can still water grass and whatever, wash cars with the well water. But he did all the plumbing work for like $1,500, including boring from the road.
How many years ago was that?
2008 or 2009.
Well, boring's more expensive too.
Yeah, you can.
Boring's a lot more expensive than an open
If
trench.
he does it while he's there, he just goes house to house to house and knocks the price down. If he's gonna come back in a year later, you're gonna pay a lot more.
Yes, sir.
When do you expect to have anticipated costs per?
For the October's meeting. We'll make the announcement at the September meeting, but I've got the paperwork already set up to just go in the paper as soon as I know that he's got everything where it can be set here and anybody can come in and take a look at it, or we can make copies of your section of it, or whatever you want to do. Ma'am, you have a question? That was that question? Okay. Yes,
I
ma'am?
have another question. So for Lozon specifically, for Lozon in Marsh, it's coming from the middle of Lozon towards Marsh, correct?
Correct.
That's where it would be. Is it meeting up with the line on Marsh?
There is no line on Marsh.
So why, does it have to go all the way to Marsh then?
Well, we're gonna take it to the corner. The one gentleman has his house, he owns both those lots, and he wants it on one where the house is. So, and because we have to run it to the end of it, because we can't, if we only run it 2 feet into the property, all you'd have to pay for is 2 feet of road frontage. So you gotta run it to the end. And then it'll be stubbed off. There'll be whatever's gonna happen. If somebody from the Marsh Road wants to extend it to the north or to the south, that'll be a T, and they'll run it that way.
So say my neighbors and I, we don't want this, we're at the end, the last 2 parcels, and we still have to run it across those anyways.
Yes, because we gotta get to the last guy.
From my understanding, he doesn't want it.
Huh?
I said, from my understanding, he doesn't want it either. I'm not 100%.
Mr. Phelan?
Yeah, whoever's on the board.
Yeah. Yeah, he's in favor of it as far as I know. He's been in here 46 times, wanting to know if I got a set of plans yet. Yes, ma'am.
He's the one that signed first, actually.
Yeah, yeah. I know he's a commercial builder by trade. He's retired now, but he owned Thompson Phelan. So he understands that water is an important thing if you're gonna ever develop anything or establish anything where you can sell it, so. Anybody else?
Say the bids that come in, are those gonna give us an estimate too on possibly, connecting to our houses?
No, you'll have to get an outside contractor to do that. And what we'll do is we'll make sure they're licensed and they're insured to do that kind of work. And we'll register him here. We'll give you a list of the people that's on our list, and then you can make sure that way. If you have trouble with somebody on our list, if you do it yourself with a shovel, we can't, do anything to you if you don't do it right. But, we want to make sure the connections are made correctly, you're disconnecting correctly, and that you're hooked up right.
And
Okay?
that has to have a permit for?
I'm sorry?
Does that have to have a permit for?
A plumbing permit? Yeah, I think there is a plumbing permit. Isn't there, Tom?
Plumbing permit? No, just a,
No.
No?
No?
No,
Well, I know for a while they
Just a
wanted to
tap-in fee?
Yeah, just a tap in.
tap-in fee for the inspection.
Yeah, just a tap-in.
Anybody else?
But you want to put it in right because the meter's at the road. If you don't put it in right, it leaks, you're still paying for all that water.
With respect to fire hydrants, everybody keeps talking fire hydrants. On Sunday, there was a fire on 27 Mile Road. There were 5 agencies that responded with pumper trucks. They all had to drive down to 25 Mile Road,
To get
I
water?
think twice, to get water. Because there is nothing north of Arnold where they could get water. So we had 3 pumper trucks at one time pulling up from our hydrants. But they had nothing else to fight the fire with.
I can speak to that because about 18 years ago, my house burned down with no fire hydrants. And they would have been able to save a lot of it if we would have had it. And we put up pools, pulled water, school hydrants back and forth, and it pretty much pulled the house.
Yeah, so there was like 5 pumper trucks that drive 2 miles just to get filled up, to get back to the fire to fight it. It takes a while to fill those trucks up.
Was it a residence?
I don't know, I didn't get a chance to go down.
I haven't seen anything on it yet.
So when the engineer does the estimate and you get bids on it, so technically that price could come down if the bid's lower?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be lowest bidder.
Yeah.
Just making sure.
Well, there's lots of
This is
work.
kind of a bad time to be doing this for everything so high.
And what we always hope, in a way, hope for is, actually, we hope the engineer bid is estimate high, so when the bids come in, it will go down. But, you know, like you said, it's a bad time, we just don't know. I mean,
Everything's expensive.
yeah, Lozon price already went up, so.
It'd been nice if it was done 2 years ago when everything was low.
Well, some of these people have been trying for 2 years.
Or 28.
Or 28 years, yeah.
One gentleman, I don't know who was talking about, like, increase in taxes. The, special assessment is a completely different bill. You would get billed once a year, and it would be for the 20 years. You could come in and pay it. We also try, once we know who the bid is and once we know the exact cost, we would mail out when the bills are going to be due. We set a period of time that if you have the wherewithal to pay it all off at once, you can. If you want to pay a big down payment on it, if you don't, you just want to go the regular payment, you would get paid or billed once a year for that installment. And then if it's not paid within that installment time before the December bill, like say if it's an August payment, come December bill is not paid, that particular installment would then be on your tax bill. But that's only that installment, so then it would say that installment's paid because it would be part of your taxes. And then the next year, another installment would come out for that 20 years. I know of a gentleman that came in one time on another line. He had got a senior citizen, he got a social security check, and every month he came in and paid, I want to say like $50 or whatever he had extra on it. That's perfectly fine because it's going off of your declining balance for your interest and that sort of thing. So that way you can pay it off slowly that way if you want to. If you have extra especially hard, and I would have to actually call the state every year, they change it. There is a poverty appeal that you can do through the State Tax Commission, and there's forms to fill out. Once the state approves, they pay off your special assessment, so you're done here at the township, but they do put a lien against your property, so if it's sold, then that would have to be paid off. If it's not paid off prior to that, that is available. I do caution if anybody does have an escrow account that they pay, your mortgage pays their taxes through your escrow account. If you do miss a payment and it goes on your December tax bill, I'm sure your mortgage company's going to call and say, hey, you have to increase your payment, when really it might be just a fluke for just that one time you missed it or something. So try and really make sure and pay that.
And how much is the special interest?
Interest right now, we're working with, because it won't be bonded until we have to get a contractor and that sort of thing. But what was it, the interest rate you were?
Did Tom come in? That's what I saw him come in. I think it's 2 1/8. I thought I'd say it was like one of these papers. It was 2.125.
Which is super compared to what the other, but we never know how that goes either. Bonding can't be completed until 35 days after our second hearing, because you have 35 days to appeal to the tax tribunal. And the bonding company has to know how much money is out there in contention in that time period. So we have to wait that 35 days after the,
Any other questions? No? All right. Now can I call it for, close the meeting?
Yeah, now you can close.
All right, we'll close the public hearing. You guys have any more to say before I ask for adjournment? If so, I'll entertain a motion for adjourning at 6:40.
I'll make the motion.
Okay, do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Okay. Sherry. By TK. All in favor signify by saying aye, please. Aye.
Aye.
Nays, hearing none, motion carried. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. 2022. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. A moment of silence for those kids in Texas. And we'll start with roll call, please.
Tom?
Here.
Carl?
Here.
Bev? Here. Mary Agnes?
Here.
Sherry? Here.
Okay. The next item is the agenda approval. We have a couple of additions. One is going to be paying the Kelly Law Firm for litigation, Barb Basney versus Tremonti and Cottrellville Township, $804. This should be the last one. In your packet, I included the last paperwork she said it was going to be for us. So they're continuing with the lawsuit, but the judge kicked us out of it, so we don't have to be bothered anymore. The next item also is new business, F8. We're going to request payment to order 4 bracket systems for the banners that we use to hang those signs for the 2 veterans that died serving our country. These were mounted on a DTE pole out in front of the township hall. We borrowed them, and now we have to replace them to return them. So Nick Jarsky was instrumental in taking care of that for us, and he actually hung them for us as well. So those 2 items will be added to the agenda that's before you. Do I have a motion to accept the agenda plus these couple items for today's meeting? Carl? Okay, do we have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion by Carl and to approve, and a second by Mr. Cochran. All in favor signify by saying aye, please. Aye.
Aye.
Any nays? Hearing none, motion carried. Thank you very much. The next item is the consent agenda. We've got regular meeting minutes for May 11th. We have a special meeting that was May 26th. That was Resolution 2022-18 and 19 for awarding of contractors' bids for that project for the sewer. Then there were approval of treasurer's reports for the reconciliation of the tax account as of April 30th, reconciliation of the general checking as of April 30th, cash summary report of account by general fund for April 30th, and the Cottrellville Township investments report as of April 30th. Under the clerk's reports, we had 22-page revenue and expenditure reports for periods from May 1st and ending May 31st, 2022. The approval of paychecks, payroll dates from May 1st to May 31st of 2022, gross total amount of $24,218.84, and they are paycheck numbers 3121 through 3143. Accounts payables, the opens paid through May 1st through the 31st of 2022 in the amount of $634.93. We had already paid $210,045.24. 49 checks, check numbers 21-211 through 21-259. And also, item number 3 was the bank account disbursements in the amount of $1,271.22. And the grand total of payables and tax disbursements was $211,316.46. We also have correspondence. The Marine City Area Fire Authority runs for May of 2022, and the Ira Township fire runs that are for our area of the township for May of 2022. And of course, the consent agenda for paying of Kelly Law Firm in the amount of $804. Do we have a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented and pay the bills?
I approve the consent agenda as approved and pay the bills.
All right, and do we have a second for that, please?
I'll second.
All right, we have a second by Carl. All in favor signify by saying aye by roll call vote, please.
Tom?
Yes.
Mary Agnes?
Yes.
Carl?
Yes.
Bev?
Yes.
Sherry? Yes.
Okay, motion carried. Thank you very much. Next item is open session. Is there anyone in the audience that wants to address the board on any of the things that appeared on the agenda items? If not, we'll continue. 7:13. The next item is, I sent another email to Kelly Law Firm, and I still didn't get an answer regarding that 7503 River Road demolition of structure. Next item is new business, and we have the approval of special assessment resolution 2022-16-02 for proposed water district number 5 for expansion of the public water to areas on the rest of Lozon Road to Marsh and areas of Shortcut Road east from McKinley to Starville to McKinley, from McKinley to parcel 74-17-009-4009-300 north side, and parcel 74-17-016-300 south side on Shortcut Road from McKinley Road to Markle. Approval of this resolution allows the next stage of setting a time and date to establish the above special water assessment and to provide cost estimates for property owners listed in the above area. So, you should have in front of you Special Assessment Water District Resolution Number 2022-1602 for proposed Water District Number 5. Do we have a motion to approve this at this regular meeting, and it's connected to the public hearing that we just had a few minutes ago? This is the answer going through deciding that we're going to have an official to adopt this resolution and to begin the next process in obtaining an official estimate per individual parcel for the project of water district number 5 and continue with the next resolution process.
I so move.
Okay. And who's the second?
I'll second.
Okay. Deb by Sherry. All in favor signify by saying aye by roll call vote, please.
Tom?
Yes.
Carl?
Yes.
Mary Agnes?
Yes.
Bev?
Yes.
Sherry? Yes.
Motion carried. Things are going. Okay, the next item is a request for the motion to receive and file the granting of Defendant Township of Cotterville's motion for a summary disposition in the matter of the civil litigation of Basney versus Jumanji and Cottrellville Township. I would make that motion to receive and file that paperwork.
I'll second.
All right, all in favor signify by saying aye by roll call, no, just by vote.
Aye.
Aye.
Yes.
Nays? Hearing none, motion carried. All right, the next item, request for adopting the special resolution number 2001 for proceeding with the renewal of the fire and police protection services on all parcels of land, of township land. Millage request is the same as prior. It's .8808 mils, or 88 cents per thousand of taxable value for fire protection, and .1192, which is 12 cents per 1,000 taxable value for police protection. A total of 1 mil between the two of them to be spread over the next 5 years. We are good till this winter's 2022 winter tax. This would begin the winter tax of 2023, and it would run through 2027. It's identical to the one that we approved before, and I'd like to schedule a public hearing for that on Wednesday, September 14th at 7 PM immediately prior to the next regular September meeting. Do we have a motion to approve that, please?
Motion.
Wait a minute, I gotta find my papers here.
I'll second.
All right. Okay, we got
Carl, Sherry.
Carl and Sherry. Okay. All in favor signify by saying aye by roll call vote, please.
Tom,
Yes.
Mary Agnes,
Yes.
Bev,
Yes.
Carl,
Yes.
Sherry, yes.
Motion carried. Thank you very much. The next item is the approval of adopting Resolution Special Assessment 2022-21-01, proceeding with the renewal of the Township Road Repair Millage. This is identical to the one that we did a few years ago on all parcels of land township-wide. The millage request is the same prior, it was .5000 mils, that's 50 cents per 1,000 of taxable value, to be spread over 5 years. This one, too, is good till 2022 of this year, the November, or the winter, December tax, but this will take care of, God bless you, this will take care of beginning 2023 through 2027. And the public hearing for that is scheduled for Wednesday, September 14th, just prior to the regular meeting for September at 7 PM. Do we have a motion to approve that, please? That resolution? Carl, okay.
I'll second.
Okay. All in favor signify by saying aye by roll call vote, please.
Mary Agnes,
Yes.
Tom,
Yes.
Bev,
Yes.
Carl,
Yes.
Sherry, yes.
Motion carried. Thank you very much. The next item is a request for approval of payment in the amount of $822.18 in postage and $575 in the setup, processing, and mailing of approximately 1,930 summer 2022 property tax bills by KCI of Grand Rapids, Michigan, for a grand total of approximately $1,397.18. Do we have a motion to approve that payment of that total amount? Also move. Do we have a second?
I second.
Okay.
That is an estimate, because we don't know for sure how many tax bills there are yet.
Okay. All in favor signify by saying aye by roll call vote, please.
Tom,
Yes.
Carl,
Yes.
Mary Agnes,
Yes.
Bev,
Yes.
Sherry, yes.
Motion carried. Thank you very much. Next one is request for payment approval of 13 loads of 21A stone that was charged to the township for a total of $2,114.51. It was payable to St. Clair Aggregates Incorporated. The freight was supplied by TK and Associates, $1,010. Tailgate spread for the roadway of the Cottrellville Township Reuben Smith Cemetery driveways on Shortcut Road. I'd like to thank both St. Clair Aggregate for helping us with this, and most of all, Tom Kaufman, because he was driving the truck. He also saw to it that it was laid out very nicely, and when we had that gathering with the Daughters of the American Revolution, it looked very, very nice. I'd also like to thank Bill Daniels he did a lot of the tree trimming and the burning of the brush and stuff to get that cleaned up, so it hasn't looked this good in many years, so I'm very pleased with the work. So can we pay these guys? I would make a motion to approve payment of both the St. Clair Aggregates and the TK and Associates bills, please.
Motion.
Okay,
I second.
all right. All in favor signify by saying aye by roll call vote, please.
Tom,
I'll abstain.
Mary Agnes,
Yes.
Bev,
Yes.
Carl,
Yes.
Sherry, yes.
Motion carried. Thank you very much. Number 7, request for approval of 2022-22, a bond resolution for $4 million for the financing of the CWSRF prepared by, I think I put down Paul Stoddard because he wrote the letter, but it was a letter to Tom, so Tom Collis from Miller Canfield.
Yep.
So Mr. Collis is here now, and if he has anything to say, I want to hear it. You want to step up to the thing and give us the rundown on it, sir?
Sure. So, Tom Coles with Miller Canfield. I represent the township as bond counsel, so our role here is to actually prepare all the legal documents in connection with the financing. Paul Stauder's your financial advisor, so he's run all the numbers. So this is the second step. You may recall back in April, you adopted a notice of intent resolution that authorized publication of a notice in the paper of the township's intent to issue bonds for this project. This project qualifies through the state's Clean Water Revolving Fund financing, which provides for a 30-year financing at 2.125%. So that's way better than we would get if we went out to the market to actually sell these bonds, probably half of the rate that we would get if we had to sell these bonds out in the market. Those rates would be near 5% if you had to go to the market. So the resolution authorizes issuance of bonds in an amount not to exceed $4 million for financing this project. The final dollar amount will be determined by EGLE, that's Department of Environment, Great Lakes and Energy, through their order of approval. So they have seen the Part 3 application, which includes the bid on the project. They'll calculate the actual dollar amount. We think it's likely going to be $4 million. But the resolution provides for a not to exceed $4 million. So if they say, hey, we'll finance $3.9 million, it automatically reduces to that dollar amount. And the schedule that's attached to the resolution, they'll provide us a new schedule based on how much money you actually draw and use for the project. So traditional bond issues, you would get all the proceeds up front, you put them in a construction fund, and then you would invest them and pay contractors as the contracts come due. This program through the state, you basically draw it down when you need it. So as invoices come in, you submit invoices to the state, they then will fund the money, and then you pay the contractors. So slightly different, and you only pay interest on the amount of money that you draw. So there is a contingency built into the financing. If you don't need that contingency, you don't borrow that money and you don't need to pay it back. So at the end of the project, once you've figured out exactly how much you've drawn, the state will send you a new schedule that shows exactly how much was drawn and how much interest is due for the remaining, for the 30-year project. So the resolution authorizes issuing those bonds in that dollar amount. It authorizes the 3 township officials, the supervisor, clerk, and treasurer, to execute documents with the state. These bonds are payable. The security is the full faith and credit of the township. But you could use any legally available funds to repay the debt service on these. So if there's system operations and rates and charges that you want to use for that, you could use that. But ultimately, the general fund supports the debt service at the end of the day. Again, this is a 30-year financing at 2.125%. And the resolution also authorizes, again, execution of certain documents with the state. The idea here is that these are tax-exempt financings because the township is a governmental entity and it's using the proceeds for a governmental purpose. So there's a tax covenant in here that says you'll do everything in your power to make sure that the bonds maintain their tax-exempt status. That really just means that you're going to operate the facility for township purposes and not for any other benefit of any other private entity. Because we ultimately give an opinion to the state that says these are legal, valid, and binding obligations of the township, and they're exempt from federal and state income tax to the holder. The state's actually the holder of the bonds since they're buying them and holding them for their own account. Happy to answer any questions on the resolution. Oh, just from a scheduling perspective, the idea is that if the resolution is approved tonight, we will then submit a signed copy to the state. This is part of the state's loan closing on July 18th. So we would file this documentation with the state. EGLE comes out with their order of approval on June 27th. So that's when we'll actually know the final dollar amount. And what they send to us, that not only will EGLE send us the order of approval, but the state, the financing part of the state, the Michigan Finance Authority, you'll see their name in there. They're the ones that are actually buying the bonds. So they'll send a purchase contract out. They'll probably send it to the supervisor's direction. We'll have a conference call with the state. We'll go through the specifics. They'll check the boxes to make sure that we've got proper authorization, all that type of stuff. And then they'll say, they'll email a contract out to the supervisor for execution. You'll have a couple days to return that. I will also get a copy of that. I will review it and let you know that is acceptable to sign, and it meets all the parameters that we've set out in the resolution and our expectation as to what the debt service should look like. That gets signed, sent back, and then we just have some closing documents to sign between then and the actual closing.
On
Yes.
Page 5.
Of the resolution?
No, of the capital improvement bond.
Yes.
Can you tell me what that adjusted, if less than, how much?
So this is the bond form that we're going to use to create the final bond.
So I don't have to fill that in?
No, so what will ultimately happen is that if the dollar amount ends up being $4 million, we will actually insert that and use that in the final bond
Okay,
form.
the
So
same thing holds true for on page 6?
that is correct.
Okay.
So both of those will be blank.
All right, and we don't have to sign the back until you tell us to.
And then you'll sign the back if it's approved
Okay.
at tonight's meeting, and then who voted yes, who voted no, and then your signatures on that.
Okay, I think that was my only question.
Yep, so again, the form of bond that's set out in that section 6 on pages 5, 6, and 7, and 8, the blanks there are supposed to be blank until we get the final dollar amount from the state.
Okay, very good.
Okay.
Does anybody else have any other questions? Let's handle this right now. The resolution number 2022-22, I'd like to propose that we approve this, please. Do I have a motion? And do we have a second?
I'll second it.
All in favor signify by saying aye by roll call vote, please.
Mary Agnes?
Yes.
Bev?
Yes.
Tom?
Yes.
Carl?
Yes.
Sherry? Yes.
Very good. Motion carried. Anything else, sir?
Nothing else, thank you.
And when we need to have some money for this next water line, are you gonna be able to help us with that too?
Sure. You're gonna finance it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so same idea, get a hold of Paul, get a hold of myself.
I've already asked him.
Yep. Yeah, so
But I
we'll
want
walk.
to see if we could get into the same low interest rate if we can.
Well, that's a great question. So when again, the state program there's steps for getting, qualified and getting on the project priority list.
All right, does
So-
the engineer do that?
Yeah, so your
All right,
engineer is the
I'll
one
get
that
involved
starts
with
the project plan, gets that submitted.
Okay.
And then the state, there's lots of applicants, of course, because there is federal funding that's helping finance these programs. And you have to fall, there's a ranking system as to what projects qualify, the necessity for them, the point system that the state comes up with, and that's Eagle that really puts that
Okay, is there a
system
time
together.
frame as to how much this money is available? Because we're not gonna have that second public hearing until October.
Yeah, there will be a time frame. Now, I think they're gonna be available for the next few years. I mean, the state, this program's always available. The question is, how high do you rank on the priority list? And how much on that list do they have funds available to fund the actual projects? So, we do these financings, and we've done these for the last few decades. The question is, does your project qualify high enough on that list? And does the state have enough funding to get to where they're gonna fund projects on that list? So the first step is your engineers doing that project plan, getting them submitted.
But it's right through the same CW, whatever it is here. huh?
Yep, and
Okay.
so what we end up doing is we see the list when the state comes out every new fiscal year on
Okay.
what projects qualify and what the fundable range is, and then we would get involved to actually document and make sure everything's in order on that side.
All right, very good, sir,
Okay.
thank you.
Great, my pleasure, thank you very much.
Good day, God bless you. All right, public comments, anybody got any public comments? Wait, did I do number 8?
You have 8 and 9 here.
Yeah, let me do 8 and 9, yeah. Under new business. The brackets. Payment for the 4 brackets for the banners in the amount of $387.09. Do I have a motion to pay those bills?
I'll make a
please?
motion to pay that.
And I'll support. All in favor signify by saying aye by roll call vote, please, because we're spending money.
Carl?
Yes.
Bev?
Yes.
Tom?
Yes.
Mary Agnes?
Yes.
Sherry? Yes.
Motion carried. Thank you very much. The last item is the approval of resolution number 2022-23. It's a resolution to increase the pay rates for mechanical and electrical inspectors in Cottrellville Township. And that came up kind of quick today. Right now, they're being paid 80% of the permit costs. And we ran the numbers, and 85% is still, the building department can't be making any money, but they have to make enough to support the people that keep it rolling. We're going to take this to 85% and pay these gentlemen with your permission, of course, to do this. They've been with us over 7 years or more. I didn't ask each one, but I know that the one guy was here when I got here in 2008, so. And then we've got collected all the money with the help of Kathy being in the building department. She's collected all the money that's been invoiced out for the past 2 years, except 2, and she's about to round these up to put on the summer tax bill, which we just put together some language for that not too long ago, to put this on their tax bill if they refuse to come pick up the permit. So they're going to make the inspections, the final inspections, and then give us the final cost and add it to their tax bill, and then we're going to get paid that way. I guess that's all I need to tell you. Do we have a motion to approve this? I also move.
I'll second.
Okay, all in favor signify by saying aye by roll call vote, please.
Bev?
Yes.
Tom?
Yes.
Mary Agnes?
Yes.
Carl?
Yes.
Sherry? Yes.
Motion carried. Thank you very much. And I think that's it. There was something else here with the announcements. Oh, there was a golf outing that I put in your packet too. And then there was we had about 150 people attend that cemetery service from the Daughters of the American Revolution. And there was about 50 people that attended the luncheon. So, like I say, I want to thank Billy Daniels, Tom Kaufman, and Sinclair Aggregates for the furnishing of the stone for the job. It really turned out nice, Tom. Thank you. I'll let your boss know.
50 years of experience of spreading that stone.
What'd you do, start when you were 10?
16.
All right, very good. If there's any other comments, public or otherwise, we will otherwise take a motion to adjourn. I'll support. All in favor, signify by aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. Thank you, everybody.